Joining me now on this episode of Locally Sourced CP is probably someone everyone in El Paso recognized, the uh, certified meteorologist, Mr. Robert Bettis. Sir, thank you for joining me today.
Ray, it's a pleasure to be
Sir,
here. Thank you
I,
so much.
I, we and you have worked together for a while when we were at Channel 4. You are
Yes,
now, of course, at Channel 9 over at
yes.
KTSM. I remember, first and foremost, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come on my little show. But we're continuing our series of talking with people in the media in El Paso and the surrounding areas. But again, thank you so much. I mean, first off, Mr. Bettis, let's talk about you. How did you get into meteorology?
Do I have to be honest on this show,
You
Ray?
do not. You do not. This is kind of like say what you want. I've had
No, I
fans cuss and then
no,
say, "Oh,
I
can we cuss?" But I mean, yes,
no,
no.
I'm going to be 100% honest. But some people might think, "Oh, wow, that's kind of weird." Okay, so my original degree at ASU was at the Walter Cronkite School. It was in broadcast journalism, and I was going to be a news reporter and a news anchor. And so then we went to an actual newscast at the CBS station in Phoenix. And we were not a very big program. So there was only like 12, 13 of us college students. And we went into the studio there and there were the anchors and oh boy, and we're all watching them. And, the anchors have that little tube in their ear called an IFB, and basically it was like 10 straight minutes of chaos. They were being screamed at, everything was going wrong, the live shots were not ready, they were it was just very stressful. My blood pressure was up watching the anchors, and I didn't have to do anything. I was just sitting there. Then Dave Muncy, the weather guy, comes out strolling into his place. Hi, everybody. Hey, you know what? It's going to be hot. Yeah, it's Phoenix. They're paying this guy. Yes, fantastic. So I looked around and I found that I could, for 2 more years, get an atmospheric physics degree, meteorology, at the University of Arizona. So I just kept rolling on, 2 more years of school, became a meteorologist. I have never regretted it.
Oh, that is I've known you all these years and I've never known that story.
Well, I know weather people are supposed, and I do love the weather. I always have. I think everybody has a natural obsession with the weather for our own self-preservation. We better pay attention
Yeah.
to the weather. But I think most people expect you to say, if you're in a weatherman, oh, that's all I've ever wanted to do, and I live and breathe weather. So you got the truth, right here on your show.
But you are not only a meteorologist for KTSM. You have your hands in a bunch of other different things. I know you do. You've had a show that you've done on your own that's also syndicated, I believe. Uh,
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that little venture you've been going on for a while.
Okay. The open house show.com. Actually, it is turned 20 years old. I cannot believe it. I mean, it's a blessing. When you go into something like that, I don't think you really ever expect it to go as long and as far as 20 years. But the first episode, if I recall correctly, was March 3rd of 2003.
Mm-hmm.
And we put it on cable. And there was a glitch with the first show, and they ran it 30 minutes later. It was really kind of our fault as much as it was just a mess. So I
People
moved.
yelling in IFBs, huh?
Yeah,
Sorry.
there were stressful moments, but you've got to, you got to step up, and you just got to put fear aside. That's my best suggestion to anybody that wants to own any business. There's no time for fear. You go forward. You just get it done. That's why I like TV people. 5 o'clock comes around, whether you're ready or not. So you better be ready to say something, and you better be ready to look good. And so just do it. It
Yep.
it can't be perfect, but it has to be. So just do it. So I moved it to KTSM. I moved the show to 8:30 in the morning on Sunday. Incredible change. It from there, it really took off. And and we've, breathed and flowed with the economy. In 2006, I was in LA, San Diego. I was paying San Diego like $2,500 a week to be at 6:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah. We were in San Antonio, we were in Austin, we were in Wichita Falls, we were in Midland, we were here, all over the place, running a giant company. And of course, we know what happened in late 07 and 08, the Great Recession.
Yep.
And unfortunately, it really hurt real estate. And if it hurts real estate, it hurts our realtors, hurts advertising. So we had to shrink back down, but then we grew back. And my wife really runs the show. She sells it, she manages it. I just run it. So that's been a real blessing too.
Oh, anyone who's ever seen the show, like it, or if you haven't seen the show, look it up. I mean, you are so entertaining. I've known you for a very long time, Robert, and I mean, you've always been fun to work with. You were very entertaining, and most of all, you were a funny guy. And you're great to be around. Your positive energy is just like it affects everyone, and I enjoyed working with you and being around.
I feel the same way about you. And people don't, like I did a lot of theater in college, and a lot of people ask, well, why do you like theater? And theater is, if I could have, is everybody's got a woulda, coulda, shoulda job. I definitely would be an actor, a stage actor. But, it's hard to get by as a stage actor. So financially, but it is so much fun. And I loved the people in theater. I loved the way I loved their personalities. I loved the way they looked at things. I loved it. And the TV news business, it's kind of like that. It's a very strange business. It comes with a whole array of personalities, some good, some, a little more difficult, like anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never met anybody that didn't really want perfection. It can't be achieved. I've done 40,000 newscasts or more. Who knows how many at this point. I've never seen one perfect, but I've seen a lot of them pretty darn awesome good enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
The personalities of our business.
Yeah, I being a part of that realm for I think over a little over 10 years, I think it was. I mean, I never saw we have a perfect show. I mean, they always have those awesome moments, and there's times where I think and people don't know that it's more, it could be super chaotic behind the scenes, but the professionals in front of the camera, they are so good that no one notices. No one ever notices.
Oh, I kind of feel the exact same way about the technical people. The last job you want in any news station is director. Oh my gosh. all the buttons, and now they've added on layer after layer of digital wipes and swoops and swooshes, and it looks great, but somebody is sitting there making that happen. I don't want that. I go into the control room and I'm like, they're all trying to make, I'm like, I'm out, peace, bye. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
The director, the board that they use to switch cameras and graphics, they've gotten so huge and complicated. And these professionals, like they know they can do it, like it's like typing on the keyboard. They can do it with their eyes closed. It says they're so good at it.
Yes. Well, and you were a field photographer. You were one of the best photographers I've ever seen.
Oh,
go out and literally, people need to know what photogs do. They go out, they get shots as much as they can under a deadline, slam it back to the station as safely as possible, and obeying all traffic laws at all times, and get in there, slam it in, edit it together, and it comes on air like, oh, we've had that movie ready to go for hours, days, and it looks so polished. It's always fun. News is great.
Yeah, it was a fun time. And I think that time out, that's the first when I first started at 4, there was still tape to tape editing. So that
Let's
was a
talk
whole
about
different realm.
Ray, let's talk about the old Channel 4. Okay,
Oh
so
man.
for Channel 4, for a while there, and I was there from '04 till 2009.
Hmm.
And they were operating on literally tapes, tape to tape.
Tape to tape.
And the other stations had all gone digital a long time ago. And if the other stations knew what we did to overcome obstacles and still put out a very respectable product,
Yes.
they would be very proud of it, because we had one hand tied behind our back and we
Yeah.
still were competitive.
I remember the some of the last live shows we did from the old Wyoming location. We had the old microwave transmitter that we go live was set up in one of the rooms pointed to the mountain because the main line from the studio didn't connect.
No.
So we had to basically
Yes.
we're doing a live shot from the studio because nothing
we
worked.
we rigged it up.
Yes.
But you know what? The public, a lot of them, they did not know
Nope.
our challenges. And then very rich KTSM swooped in and took over Channel 4. And I remember, in late '09, and then they formed this management agreement where they were literally, they had KTSM in the big studio,
Yep.
and then they had Channel 4 in what we called it the B hole. It was Studio B, but it was the B hole. It was a little room, but it was all virtual and stuff. And they had new graphics, HD cameras. Man, it looked fantastic overnight.
I think it was no bigger than like a master bedroom, though, that studio.
It was about the size of my library, which is not too big. And we all sat in there in a little desk, but it looked good. I mean, it actually looked good on air. And we became instantly technically better.
Oh yeah.
And then a lot of people ask me, well, why didn't you stay with Channel 4? I'm like, well, I didn't leave Channel 4. Channel 4 left me, because KFOX bought the license and ownership of Channel 4. And at the end of the management agreement in 2014, the station went over to KFOX. So KFOX now owns CBS, and they've got a duopoly. But I was contracted to, at that point, Nexstar. And so I stayed over there. So then the next day I was on Channel 9 at 6 o'clock. Oh, and by the way, another little side note to TV broadcasting. For 10 years, I was the chief meteorologist at our station in Brownsville and the Rio Grande Valley.
Yep.
And we did that live every night from the KTSM studios. And I never lived in the valley. But when I flew out there, they're like, oh, Robert, hey, we love your weather. We'll watch you every night. We pulled it off. I don't know how, I never thought it would last that long. It lasted 10 years.
Wow.
And the ratings were good because they had local reporters. So the stories were local valley. We had a local news director. So it was really a good product.
Yes.
But it was anchored 890 miles away.
I remember I would help Axel edit some of those shows. Those Brownsville shows. I remember that. I remember there was a hurricane and you went over to cover it live.
When we had tropical weather, I got on a plane and got out there as fast as possible. And sometimes the weather moved in so quickly I couldn't fly. So we just had to run hurricane operations from El Paso.
Right.
I don't know how a guy living in El Paso becomes the hurricane expert for Nexstar Corporation, but anything can happen. I love this country, America. Yeah.
Oh no, it was definitely fun times. I mean, it went from challenging to kind of craziness when Channel 4 was bought by Channel 9 and just working all that. So and then also we had I don't know if you remember, we had the 49ers.
Yes.
It was our celebrity softball. It was when we were Channel 4 and Channel 9 were together. So I had to break this out and still had it in the closet, and actually still fits. So
mine's hanging in my closet and it still fits. And so, but yeah, 9 and 4 will never be together again. But now it's 14 and 4.
Nice.
KFox.
We'll
So,
have to see if I
in
can put this
fact,
on.
ironically, we just had a softball game against them.
That's right.
KTSM
That's
played
right.
them, and I need to go like pull all my television softball jerseys out of the closet for nostalgia.
That Robert, that's so crazy. I mean, it is. I just love like this. I love reminiscing with you. It's just like so cool, like just to be able to like talk about this times and just to let people know kind of how it works in the media too and how things have gone on.
Yes, Ray, I believe it was you who did. Did you do the bet us try your job stuff?
It'll work. Bet us it'll work.
Bet us it'll work. Right. And
Yes.
you did that. And we did
Yeah.
a bunch of these.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was
Yes.
fun. People would write in, oh, won't you try my job? And so we'd go out and we did like, remember the scuba diving up there in Las Cruces? Were you the one who did that? And I remember we grilled something out on my grill out here with the
Yeah.
like the
I didn't do
brush.
that one, but I was actually watching some of them because I had saved them. I have like we
Yes.
did the Sham Wow when we did
ShamWow.
the H&H car wash.
Yes.
And we had the Haddad brothers with us. That was so cool. It was like reminiscing and kind of like, oh man, that's so cool. And then we did it was a Fix It
Yes.
Pro because that one actually has the most views like on my channel.
Oh yeah, that gets the scratches out of the
Yeah,
car.
I think that one had like
right. That's right.
that one had like over like 10,000 views on my channel, and I didn't even like never advertised or anything. I just
And
put
you
it
know what?
out
It
there.
actually worked. That was one of the products that
Yeah.
most of the products worked.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
that was pretty fun.
And I think the other one I just watched real quick was that Drank. I don't know if you remember
Oh yeah.
that
Slow
drink that
your
would get you
roll.
sleep. Yeah.
Slow your roll. Yeah. When you want to drink something to calm down.
Yeah. And
Which pretty
those were
much
so
we
fun
need.
to do. And like I think those were the first ones at Channel 4 that were done digitally with one of my laptops and your digital
Yes.
camera. Because then it was our own stuff, and that was the first digital stuff that came out of Channel 4 when we were still at
Yes.
the old location.
You're absolutely right. And then of course they transferred to tape so that it could be played.
They did. We totally did. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, Robert, I appreciate everything. I mean, you're not just. I mean, you've also done other stuff. I mean, you're all like you're not only the meteorologist on Channel 9, but you also do the Studio 9 show, correct?
Oh yeah, Studio 9 is great. It's a lifestyle show, and it is basically talking to people. And you know what? I think where I'm where I hope that I help the show is we have to interview a wide and diverse collection of people in all walks of life, all occupations. And so if I bring one thing to the table, I hope that I make them calm, that I get them distracted so that because people get very nervous about being on TV. We don't think about that, but most people, it's in like the top 10 fears.
Wow.
The top 10, like heights and spiders and being on TV interviewed, that they get, very, so it's our job to, hey, calm down. It's all right. Break the ice, get them, focus here, right here. Don't look at that camera. That doesn't exist. And let's just talk about what you know. And that's that show's been such a wonderful thing. And once again, our production crew, incredible. Yeah. I travel with a producer and 2 photographers, and they chop stuff up and make it look so big market, so exceptionally good.
It's very well done. Like it's done great. Like the way it's shot, the way it's edited, it looks great.
They are masters at that stuff. So I just show up and I have the least of the work to do, but it is awfully fun. And you get to rock climb, eat a lot of food. You know me, I love to taste.
Yeah. And then and it just from personal experience, when you're on the shoot, you make it so much easier. Like especially when you're dealing with like you had said, when we would deal with guests, like people that were going to be on our little segment, you were talk to them, calm them down. And I think like for a lot, I've learned a lot from you and people like Axel and Miguel. Like you guys have helped me become someone who can interview well and like help calm people down, assure them that, hey, I'm not going to make you look bad. Don't worry, we can edit it. This isn't live, stuff like that. Like, I'll tell people that when we call just to calm them down. So they, it's just me and you, like you said, just me and you talking, ignore the camera.
Exactly.
Little tricks like that I picked up from all you guys.
And when you're born without the embarrassment gene, me, life's easy. It's like, oh, we need some people to talk to. Okay.
Yeah.
First person I see, hey, here's what we're gonna do. And thank you for helping us in advance. Oh, okay. Well, come on, let's talk. You can't be in TV news and be shy.
Yeah.
You've got to be friendly, but aggressive.
I learned that quick. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as all your adventures go, Robert, I mean, is there anything else I missed? I mean, I saw that I just barely noticed and learned this today. Not stalking you, but doing my research. I didn't know you were an author.
Oh, yes. Actually, I've written a lot of things, but I've only published one thing, and that was a children's book.
Yes, that's
that I originally wrote in 2011, and I almost finished it, and then it sat in my library until I cleaned out my library 10, 11 years later. And I got it and I read it, and then I had an ending. So I put it together, cleaned it up, marketed to a few publishers. They bought it. Dear Bubble Bath, give back my dad. So the idea is that, there's a family, and the little girl is the youngest. She loves her dad. And one day dad has a stressful day, so he just takes a bubble bath to calm down. And then he just never leaves his bubble bath. So the daughter has to figure out a way to get dad back in her life. So she teams up with a neighbor to create the world's first battery operated mobile bubble bath. So he could go to her events at school, games, the movies, stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
What could go wrong with a battery operated bubble bath? That's the book. And I'm actually working on another one for slightly older kids called My Granny Bought a Sports Car. And I think that will be good too. And I wrote a screenplay called Elvis Pandemic. Elvis Pandemic. I'm still trying to, we'll see. One day, maybe we'll get that actually put into film. But the idea is that, it's in the middle of COVID, and the number one Elvis impersonator in Las Vegas gets sick with COVID. Oh. And so picture him there in the hospital, the nurse, all these mafia good fellas standing around going, well, is he going to be ready tomorrow for tomorrow's show? I mean, that's a big show. We need him. And the nurse is like, look, buddy, he's sick. In fact, you guys shouldn't even be in the hospital room. It's contagious. No, what are we going to do? And so they're like, well, why don't we get a fill-in? So they go on a national search for an Elvis impersonator to fill in Las Vegas. And they find one in El Paso, Texas, who, unbeknownst to them, has been hired to do the quinceañera of a cartel mob, Juarez cartel boss.
That's the twist.
There you go.
Oh,
it's Cannonball Run meets Ocean's 11 meets the most ridiculous movie you've ever seen, but it's real fun.
End scene.
Yeah.
Oh man, Robert, I forgot how great it is to talk to you. It's been so long. I mean, I appreciate everything. I appreciate coming on the show. Talk a little bit about yourself. I mean, I've learned a lot about you, like just talking to you this few more minutes that I didn't even know about. But I mean, I appreciate coming on the show, talking about some of your history working in TV and kind of how you became how you were inspired to become a meteorologist. That I've never known that.
True story. I identified where we should go, and that was good. And I would say to people, we're children of God. We've got to shine. We can't have fear. We have to have faith. And we just live every day. The world can be falling apart around us. We shine. We smile. We stay positive. We keep going. That would be my advice. Don't have fear. Go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Robert Bettis. Sir, thank you so much for joining me today. And just as a side note, when I was the last part of the run, when I was with the morning show with Channel 4, and I was on TV or would do like the little teases, I would try to channel my inner Robert Bettis because you were so entertaining. I just didn't want to be bored in the morning, so I tried to do stuff that. And I was like, what would Robert do?
What would Robert
He
do?
would be in front of the camera with the messy face eating some chicken wings at track one. And I remember doing that one time when we were at track one. So,
Yeah.
sir,
Yeah.
thank you
Well,
so
thank
much.
you.
Anything else you'd like to say or add before we end today?
No, just thank you for having me on your show. I've always loved working with you. So when
Same.
you messaged me, I'm like, for people like you, it's a yes.
Oh, Robert, thank you so much. And thank you for taking time in your busy day. I know you were working earlier, and thank you so much. God bless you and your family. And if you ever need anything, you know where to find me.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you, sir.